What is up, you guys? We are back with a new video and with some exciting news about Tekken 8. Now, we're going to be going over a lot of stuff on Tekken about what we're seeing in this Tekken 8 trailer. This was definitely something I'm very excited about. I had to get back prepared for, because I knew they was going to show some stuff at Game Awards, but didn't expect them to show some more gameplay. But they did. But they showed some. It was some exciting stuff getting shown. So let's first, without further ado, let's look at the trailer again, and we're going to analyze this trailer a little bit. And Harada also did an interview that we're going to also go over too as well. So let's get into it. The trailer for Tekken 8. I've looked at this trailer like 15 million times. Oh, I didn't got Captain on anyway. Wait a minute, where is the hold on, let me find the English one. Cause I think they have an English one? They should have an English one. Let me see if I can find it. I was trying to find the highest quality video. There you go. Yeah, we'll look at this one. Oh yeah, we got it already on the highest one. Alright, let's go. Trusted with hope. Jin-san. And June is coming back, man. June is coming back. Oh my god, look, man, dude, look at freaking Law, bro. Look at Law. Law is freaking ripped. He gets no chaka. The game looks very, very smooth. My boy! So, as far as the story goes, it's like Jin and Kazuya still continuing this bloodline battle of trying to kill each other. And somehow June is coming back. I don't know how they have June coming back, because they never really explain what happened to June, right? I think that she's always been inside Jin, keeping his devil gene under control. But it looks like we finally get answers into what happened with June. Man. Everybody looks so cool. It looks like they got like a little counseling system on here now. Yeah, Jin can't control the devil tree. Oh, not devil tree, but devil gene. Man, this game's gonna be sick. So we don't have a release date for this yet. So I'm assuming, let's make an estimate. Tekken 8 is definitely probably gonna come out maybe I'll say June. No, not June. Everything's coming out in June. That's what I'm thinking at. It's either gonna be winter, like I said, winter of next year, or sometime in the summer of 2024. So we can only hope for a summer release date of 2020, or a winter release date of next year. That'd be epic, but that would be a lot of fighting games at one time. But I think with Street Fighter coming out next year, I don't know if Harada's gonna risk that game coming out during that time. But without further ado, let's look at Harada's interview talking about Tekken, because he's actually talking about the game a lot. And I'm curious of what Harada has to say. Alright. I gotta wait till this plays. They got this on YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Let's watch it.
This winter. So he goes.
Watch it on YouTube. All right.
Family.
Here we go.
Yesterday, Bandai Namco debuted a brand new Tekken 8 trailer during the Game Awards, revealing new mechanics and the return of a fan-favorite character. Now I'm joined in studio by Tekken 8 director Katsuhiro Harada and producer Michael Murray for a full breakdown of the new trailer. Harada-san, Michael, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's dive right into the trailer.
Oh yeah, we don't need to see that again.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what's happening here and where we are in the story?
So in the trailer, it's this time we really kind of focused on the story-based elements of the game and trying to portray that in the trailer. You can see Jun Kazama actually appears later on in the trailer, right? So we have Jun Kazama, Kazuya. So Jun is Jin's mother and Kazuya the father, so you know the three of them are family. And the different kind of destiny that they're all intertwined in is something that's really important to the story overall. And I think when you have a chance to play the game and you play through the story portion of it, you'll get more insight into the dynamics of that. But for this part, we just really wanted to make it really stand out about showing off some of those story-based elements, especially with the three of the main members of this iconic family.
At 9 seconds, we see Jun Kazama, Jin's mom, who hasn't been in a Tekken game since Tekken Tag 2 and hasn't had a canon appearance since Tekken 2. Can you talk about Jun's importance to Jin and Kazuya's story?
As you said, Jun Kazama, you know, this has been quite some time since she appeared in this type of capacity in the game. You know, being both part of the canon story and playable hasn't happened since, like you said, Tekken 2, which was, you know, 96.
Yeah. That was a long fucking time ago, bro.
Obviously, this time she plays a very important role, both to, you know, Kazuya and Jin, and I think some of that will be portrayed when you actually hands-on with the game. But really, I think she's more centrally important to Jin Kazama, because people who are familiar with the character, you know that he's got this devil gene power, and he's kind of typically wavering between you know his human side and that kind of devil influence side throughout the storyline of Tekken. So Jun is kind of like his guide on the path that he's on, and people who are familiar with the series and her and you know Kazuya know that she has this special power with her that she can actually kind of neutralize the devil gene. Devil gene and some of its effects. So how that plays out in the story is something that players can look forward to, I think.
Yeah.
At 23 seconds, Kazuya appears in his devil form and starts attacking a city in some story mode footage. Can you talk about where Kazuya is in this story after finally maybe defeating Heihachi in Tekken 7 and what his plans are?
So the events in the trailer and the setting for Tekken 8 take place roughly 6 months after the ending of Tekken 7. So that's where we're at when you see this. And so you can see that Kazuya Mishima is in charge of the G Corporation, and so he's kind of used that as a vehicle to gain control, basically the whole globe, right? And this is partly due to, you know, he was in a rivalry with Heihachi Mishima, who controlled the Mishima Zaibatsu. So after defeating Heihachi, like you saw at the ending of Tekken 7, you know, he had complete control over the world, and so you see him going around and destroying in the trailer. And if you recall Tekken 7, he has these extraordinary powers from the Devil Gene grants him. So he can shoot lasers. He even like shot down a satellite, you know, in the previous game. So this is the kind of destructive power we're talking about. And it's kind of unhampered now that he doesn't have Heihachi to stop him.
Okay, at the 25-second mark, we get gameplay footage of Lars, Paul Phoenix, Martial Law, Jack 8, and King. Everyone's sporting a new look, especially Paul, who has moved away from his signature hairdo, and Martial Law is using nunchucks in some of his attacks. Could you tell us about their redesigns and new models that have been built for Tekken 8?
はい、今
So the characters that you mentioned, obviously, all of them returning from past installments. But that said, they've been completely built from the ground up. The whole models, everything, the rigging, the skinning, the costume design, everything about them was made from scratch for this time. We really wanted to give Tekken 8 the feeling of a brand new title and to provide the excitement for everyone, right? So, but we did have a lot of trouble in doing so. I mean, there's a financial cost of remaking all the models for the whole game, right? But more so, if you change it to make it look new, you have to be careful that you don't change it so much that people don't recognize their fan favorites. So we had to really take a hard look at each character and think, what makes them this iconic image to everyone?
I wonder how much it costs
to keep those elements while making it a brand new
redo a character like
costume.
this.
So that was something that was really important
instead of reusing assets.
And then, like you mentioned, Paul's hair, right? That's something that actually he had straightened long hair in Tekken 4, which is pretty popular with some of the Tekken fans. So that made it an appearance. We actually have kind of an internal rule that every 4, Tekken 4 and then Tekken 8, Paul has his hair down. So maybe next time Tekken 12, perhaps, we'll have a hair down version of Paul. That said, we know that there are a lot of people who love the skyscraper hairstyle of the original Paul costume. So you can actually equip that in the customizations.
Jumping ahead to 33 seconds, we see some stage destruction after King hits Jack 8 into a wall. Can you tell us about the improvements that have been made to the stages and stage destruction in Tekken 8, including any visual updates?
So regarding the stages, a lot of attention.
This winter, so he goes.
It's all part
Why
of
am
the
I watching
adventure.
this? I don't want to see
The
this.
newest power couple.
Skip.
To the detail was put into it from various aspects. For example, there's the functionality of the stage itself. Tekken is a 3D fighter, so this is really important that the camera, goes 360 degrees, not just for cinematics, but while you're actually playing the game in various situations, right? And so you have balconies or walls or various objects that you can destroy within the stage, which opens it up. It changes the size and shape, but what this means is it changes the strategy of the game, right? So depending on which character you're using, it could be that they're well suited to one particular stage or maybe not. So this kind of strategic element is important to the game. And so the first thing we focus on was making these stages fun for the gameplay and how it affects the strategy, right? But also, not just that, even if it's not important to the functionality, just the graphics of one area breaking and opening up, and you can see like a panorama from like a wider view, or just like the
So they added stage
effects
destruction.
of dust and smoke and other elements of the stage that are destroyed, and you
Definitely
can see them
gonna
move
look
in
like a
real time
next
because
gen
of the
Tekken
physics.
game.
Also, the stages themselves, you might have different variations where it's nighttime or it's during the day, and that kind of lighting completely changes the look and feel of the stage. So all of this really comes together to make the stages really immersive experience. Both from the gameplay elements that I mentioned, but also from a spectator or just as a player enjoying it. So those are some of the things that went into the stage when we developed. So this really is unique, though, the stages about Tekken, because there's no other really current title that has this free roaming, not free roaming, but the camera can go in 3D, 360 degrees, right, at any time, depending on the player's inputs. You don't see that in any other games. And what this means is it's so much more intensive and even costly to make these kind of stages, because you have to pay attention to every detail on the stage, because you never know where the camera is going to be, right?
He keeps
So
talking about
everything
cost.
has to be
Tekken 8's
perfect,
budget must
all
have
the
been off the chain.
cinematics and everything. So, I kind of joked to myself that if I knew it was going to turn into this maybe 30 years ago, I shouldn't have done 3D stages, because everyone else is doing 2D, and they don't have to worry about the stuff the camera can't see. So I'm kind of jealous in some regards.
So here at 34 seconds, we see Lars is rooting for Jin. Can you tell us about Lars' place in Tekken 8's story? We also see him fighting Jack 8 and showing off the new heat system. Tekken 8's core concept is aggressive. Could you talk about what influenced that concept and what that means for Tekken 8's gameplay, how the heat system plays into that?
So first, there's like you said, Lars appears in the trailer, rooting for Jin.
My boy.
You can kind of see their relationship throughout the series, but this time you can do it. Jin Kazama, he's saying. So I think it kind of gives people watching the trailer a good idea of the kind of dynamic there with those two.
Yeah.
That he's supporting Jin in his journey this time, right? And then regarding the heat system, it's like you said, you see it in the trailer as he's fighting against Jack 8. But this is really designed to change the game in a positive way from past installments. That it's the same with real martial arts, but with fighting games as well. If you have two people who have a really similar skill level, sometimes neither can go on attack or open themselves up. You know, it leaves you vulnerable, perhaps. So you'll just see people staring each other down, I guess you could say, right? We wanted to break that up. So the heat system really kind of rewards players for going on the offense and to maybe poke holes in their opponent's defense because it's more fun for the people playing, but also for people watching the game, it's more of an enjoyable spectator experience. So this was designed to kind of really reflect the core concept of Tekken 8 of being an aggressive game and to kind of change up the gameplay in that manner. So this is the first time we're showing it off, and we hope to talk about it more in the future. So we hope everyone's looking forward to hearing more details.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, jumping ahead to 41 seconds, Jin and Kazuya are destined to fight each other, and their conflict mirrors Heihachi and Kazuya's. What makes this fight, Jin versus Kazuya, different from that one, and where is Jin coming into in Tekken 8's story?
So in previous, I believe Tekken 7 is what you're referencing, the battle between Kazuya and Heihachi. The dynamics were, you have Heihachi is a human. He doesn't possess the devil gene, right? Against Kazuya, who has the devil gene, who is, a devil pretty much. And so the battle between them was kind of a different dynamic. In Kazuya, obviously he wins in the end. Spoiler alert for people who haven't played Tekken 7. So that dynamic is slightly different because now you have Jin Kazama, who actually also possesses this devil gene and gives him similar powers to Kazuya. But it's quite different in the matter that Kazuya, from a martial artist perspective, fighter, and being able to control the devil gene and go freely back and forth between human and devil powers, he's much more of a developed and polished entity or person, I guess you could say, where Jin he's younger, and he's still, he has his things that he's trying to battle with and within himself and to figure out. And so he's not mastered himself or the devil gene and its powers. So the way that plays out is quite different than the battle between Heihachi and Kazuya. But not just that, you have the added dynamic of Jin's mother, Jun Kazama, Kazuya's wife as well, who kind of will come on the scene and how she affects that face-off between the two, father and son, this time.
I can't wait to see how that plays out.
What we've seen before with Heihachi and Kazuya, right?
Can't wait to see how that plays off with the story between
Okay, skipping ahead to the 1 minute mark, we see Jun Kazama again. She returns and promises to help Jin cleanse this world of its evil and corruption. We also see a bird land on her hand. Could you talk about what the bird symbolizes and the importance of Jun's return to the series after so much time away?
So just to dive into the background of Jun Kazama a little bit, part of her character setting is that she's involved in wildlife conservation, and that's also kind of why she raised Jin in Yakushima, which has a lot of nature in that environment. So there is that regarding the bird, coming to her, but it's also more of a kind of Japanese or Asian concept that when you have these martial artists who've attained a lot of power, it's said that that kind of fighting spirit emanates from them, right? But on the other hand, someone who's equally a master can kind of feel that power, and it works in minus ways some ways. So it's said that people who've gone even further to the next level are able to kind of get rid of that fighting spirit or not emanate it so that their opponent can't feel it, right? So that is said that with a very skilled martial artist in the past that animals would fly to them because they don't feel that that fighting spirit or that danger, I guess you could say, right? So it's a sign that not only is she, you know, in tune with nature, but that also she is such a skilled martial artist that she is able to kind of not emanate that fighting energy, right? So that's a background setting to it. But also, one important thing of June is that she's got this power to cleanse things, or, you know, kind of neutralize the devil gene, etc. So how this plays, you know, affects the outcome and what transpires between these two fighters, right, is going to be one of the focal points of the story for people to look forward to.
And finally, at the end of the trailer, we see the chain and the 8 symbol again. We finally see Tekken 8's tagline, Fist Meets Fate. Can you talk about the symbolism behind the chain and the tagline and how they relate to Tekken 8's story?
So the chains are really an important element, especially tied to Jin, also Kazuya, the Mishima family in general, with the devil Jin and their history. So it kind of symbolizes they have this particular destiny or things that they're tied to, you know, whether they like it or not in many instances. And the chains are kind of what binds them to that, and that's like a reflection of that. So that's a key element of the story that appears visually. But then also the Fist Meets Fate just symbolizes that although they have this destiny, and it seems like it's kind of decided in their fists. So that's where the Fist Meets Fate comes from.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this game turns out, man. I'm really interested to see the story, how June comes back into the game, and what's her motivations to coming back. And which I think it's still just going to be an entity of June, because she's supposedly dead. So I don't think I don't know how they're going to actually have her come back into the game. I think she's just going to be playable. I don't know how much of the story she's actually like her alive per se, but we'll see. We'll see what they do, man. But as far as the gameplay goes for Tekken, seems like they're adding like a dash canceling effect to the game, to where he says the more aggressive you are, the more the reward you get for coming in into an opponent to being more aggressive, which I like. I'm an aggressive fighter. I love going in, going hard in Tekken. I'm not really a footsie guy. I just like going in, going ham, which usually gets me beat up sometimes, but sometimes it gives me high reward. But other than that, it makes me wonder if they're going to get like a meter in the game. Don't know if they're going to have like a meter to do like the little dash cancel, because I see the characters doing dash canceling. But we're just going to have to wait and see until they come out with more information. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like that, though. I don't know if they have meter, or if you have to be like in a certain rage mode in order to do the dash cancel, or it's just like it can only be either one. Like you have a meter, or you have to be inside of a certain mode, like be in rage mode in order to do it. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not like that. I want to be able to do it anytime or when I'm building up a meter. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I see they didn't have any meters showing, any HUD showing, any HUD showing to show like health and all that stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, you guys. As for now, this is it for Tekken 8. And pretty much all the news that I have to cover for Game Awards. Those are my 3 most anticipated games that I have looking forward coming out. Either next year or the year after next. Because I know Final Fantasy 16 is next year. And Street Fighter 6 is next year, which those 2 are, and Resident Evil 4. Those three games are my most anticipated games. Tears, I'm definitely getting Legend of Zelda 2, which I need to beat the first Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Gotta beat that first before I play Tears of the Wind. Which Tears of the Wind I think is coming out in May, but they haven't released a new trailer for that yet, which is surprisingly. They may have one coming up at the end of the year or the beginning of next year. So. Alright, you guys, that's it for this video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys are most excited about next year and what y'all are looking forward to. Let me know in the comment section. But until then, I am out. Peace.